I'm not going to this end.
Is it just St Lindsay that we're waiting for? Nice to see you all here. I think a lot of people are taking advantage of the end of the summer holidays and the late summer breaks to skip off into warmer climes, which is kind of nice for them, really. Just to remind everybody, we are recording the meeting. You might want to bear that in mind. So if anybody wants to say anything at any point, they will be identifiable. We're working under code of conduct and standing orders as they are at the moment. I'm hoping we can have a nice, calm and not too long meeting, because the last one was a very long meeting. I'm hoping we can get through the business within the time allocated. First of all, just to say, I'm aware that Uppingham in Bloom have... are you going to say something special later? Lovely, thank you, Deborah. I'm glad you have. That's fine. I'll leave that to you later on. That's fine. We've had... it's going to be quite an interesting month. Lots of busy things happening. So I'm glad that you're going to be talking about that. But can we just take the apologies for absence, please, Sharon? Seeing all their empty chairs, it feels like a song from a musical.
I do apologise, I'm eating a sweet so I don't cough, and I wasn't trying to choke them. So we have apologies from Trevor. Lindsay will probably be here, haven't had any apologies. Mark, Ray... I think that's it, isn't it? They are all on holiday. Peter, thank you. They are all on holiday, but not together. So.
I propose we accept those apologies.
I'll second.
All those in favour of accepting those apologies? The next full council meeting will be chaired by Dave, because actually I'm managing to find a 5-day slot when I can take a short holiday, so Dave's agreed to chair the next meeting at the beginning of November. Sadly the sun will have gone by then, but hey, you know, we'll just sneak into northern Spain just in the hope of finding a little bit of respite. Do I have any declarations of members' interest other than those already declared that might relate to any items on the agenda as it stands? Godfrey?
I did send a message to Sharon about I've got some minor involvement with Citizens Advice Milton. Okay. But while we're talking about declarations of interest, I looked on the website and the declarations of interest are 2015.
Ooh,
I don't know if
that's
that
interesting.
can be updated at some point.
That's interesting. Okay, thank you for bringing that to our attention. That's very good. We will certainly amend to that.
10C.
10C. Would that be something to do with cemeteries by any chance? Yes, thank you, Tom. Anybody else?
Uppingham Bowls Club.
That's fine. I think that's currently the item that's after the closure of the meeting, isn't it? Yes. Okay, thank you.
Liz, I don't have a declaration, but could I address something through you to Godfrey?
Yeah, please do, if you have.
Which website was that, Godfrey?
Well, it was Uppingham Town Council website.
Ah, right, thank you. Right, it's just... no, you're absolutely right to bring it up. Sorry, I'm looking at Godfrey and I'm speaking through the chair.
Yeah.
But of course they will be on the RCC website, won't they, hopefully? That's where they are. When you go on Find My Councillor, Parish Council, and we're all listed on there. But
we all hail to a great... we all have a higher authority, but yeah, thank you, that's a really good point.
No, you're absolutely right. If it's not on the town, it should be, but the up-to-date ones... I'm confident in saying to you will be on the RCC website.
Thank you.
We'll get that sorted. Thank you very much.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's fine.
On item 12, LRLC.
Thank you. Okay, opportunity for the public to speak. I've got one person in the council who wants something to say. And you'd like 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Working on the principle that we have 15 minutes in total. Let's start this side this time. Deborah, please stand.
Thank you. Uppingham and Bloom would like to thank the Town Council for the funding and support which aided us being awarded the Gold Cup for East Midlands Small Town Award.
Well done, Uppingham and Bloom.
The cup will shortly be on display after the spelling correction is made. It currently reads Uppington.
Oh no, that's
going to be amended. So, and certificates were also awarded to the Falcon for the best pub hotel. And then there was a judges award to Todd's Peace Sensory Garden.
Well done, Todd's Peace!
For its involvement and improvement of community work and antisocial behaviour.
That's not by the Todd's Peas people.
Yeah. And then going forward, we're hoping to concentrate on Baines Corner, as we were grateful for a discussion to resolve its present condition. We're also interested in improving Queen Street, and the Uppingham in Bloom weeding morning will commence there on Sunday morning, so you'll see us around there. We've also got a new chair on the board, that's Sarah Medley, and any correspondence can be directed to her. And I've got her email if you need it.
Yes, please.
Okay,
Yeah.
let you have that.
Thank you very much. Well done to all of you. Thank you. That's lovely. We all benefit from the very hard work that you all put in, and I'm glad about the sensory garden because it's been
we were surprised.
it's been a traumatic business over the last few years, and I believe the whole environment's a bit better at the moment than it has been. Is that right?
It's vastly improved.
Being a good,
very different from last year.
good bit officer. That's lovely. Thank you. Glad to hear it. Now, who was next? Yeah, please.
It's just a question, actually.
Can I just say, we can answer some questions, some we'll have to wait till afterwards.
Expect you to answer.
But we can put it.
To answer
we
it
will
now.
record it. Thank you.
I just wanted to record it. I just want to know if there's any progress or decision made as to having lights on Todd's Peas.
You can. I will drop you a line. Would you mind giving your email to Sharon afterwards so that we can send you a response?
Have you got it? Yeah, she's got it. We're in contact.
We'll give you, Sharon will be able to give you the latest on the information. It's not straightforward, but thank you for reminding us.
Yeah,
I remind you on an almost weekly basis. She doesn't like me for that, but hey, we're working on it, aren't we?
Yeah,
thank you for bringing it up.
Would make another improvement to it.
I thank you very much. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'll email.
Yes, if you've got. That's fine. Okay, are you next? Please, Maureen. Yes, please do.
I am again. Short this time. And it's actually pertinent to you asking a question and not necessarily wanting an answer. And I want to draw your attention to the need to observe your standing orders in regard to this, the public democratic 15 minutes. Some of us who take an interest in your work aren't your enemies, far from it. We simply want a council that every individual member is able to represent our concerns and be fully involved in decision making. There's really no need to misinterpret our intentions or try to shut, principally me, up. Your standing orders make clear that our questions, I quote, shall not require a response at the meeting, nor start a debate, but that the Chair may direct that a written or oral response be given. It is clearly indicated that the whole of the 15 minutes is available for public use. This is our chance, just 15 minutes, to raise issues directly, and we have the right to be heard without interruption or correction, especially when the intervention is unwarranted and incorrect. I ask councillors to abide by your standing orders and not intervene when a member of the public is speaking during the democratic 15 minutes, as per your standing orders, unless, of course, we use inappropriate language or go over our allocated time slot. Thank you.
Thank you. Susan.
Mine was rather long-winded. It was about the new town hall regulations which are going to come into effect next April. Because there were so many questions, I did email Sharon and she very kindly gave me some response. But I do think that it needs to be looked at again and written in such a manner that is easily understandable for the public, because the way it is at the moment, it just throws up a lot of anomalies which, you know, I mean, sort of, for example, no smoking in vehicles, that's just one of the things. I mean, you know, this is a town hall, you're talking about hire, and you're talking about smoking in vehicles, you know? Anyway, but Sharon has very kindly answered it, and I believe that she's going to put up the responses from there on. The other thing is that the conclusion of the governance, AGAR, yet? No? No conclusion yet? What's happened to the governance? And a return. Hearing loop, somebody mentioned about a hearing loop up here. So
you're saying you would like a hearing loop up here?
From a DDA point of view, there should be a hearing loop.
Should there also be one in the town hall? Are you wanting one everywhere?
There should be one all over, but specifically in here, because there are members of the public that sit here and listen to the debate, and they can't actually hear it. A cemetery needs the new regulations on there needs to be put a lawn cemetery, because the definition of a lawn cemetery is different from just an ordinary cemetery. Anyway, thank you for listening.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Christy, please do, Christy.
I was returning from the town at 3 p.m. along Aston Road. At the crossing near the beaches, I came across an elderly lady in a motorised scooter who was trying to help an equally elderly gentleman who was in a very confused state. He didn't know where he was, what he was doing, who he was, or anything else. I offered assistance. The lady telephoned the PCSO, Andy Wiley, but he was unable to help because he was at an incident, but offered to come as soon as possible. After 20 minutes or so, in the absence of the PCSO, I decided that the best course of action was to take the gentleman to the surgery where, if he was an Uppingham person, he should be known and his medical record should be. Arriving at the surgery, the doors were shut. They did open, but then I was told by 2 receptionists that the surgery was closed for training. So I said, as you are the surgery, could you let me have a seat and something for him to drink, because he was in an awful state? No, we are closed. So, at any rate, I therefore went next door to Ashdale, who offered him a seat and a drink, and we waited until the PCSO arrived, and I found that he had a wallet which said where he lived, etc., and the PCSO said that he would have to get a police car, which took longer, and then the police said they would take him home. Now, my point is that it was a medical thing. He's not a criminal. He shouldn't have been taken away by the police when we were outside the surgery. So I would have liked to have seen a more compassionate response by the surgery staff, who are the appropriate health professionals, and it occurred to me that these dementia issues are likely to be more common in our present age group. Could the Town Council write to the surgery to ask for both their explanation and their suggestions as to how these situations should be handled in the future?
Thank you, Christine. I think the Town Council could do that. I think it's a classic situation. They're shut, but there's a mismatch. I think we could. It was
absolutely disgusting.
Thank you. Would we be able to write?
Yep,
yes, I think we could ask. Would I have everybody's support to write to the surgery and ask what do we do in this situation, bearing in mind we have a lot of elderly folk in Uppingham now, and none of us would want to be left wandering the streets and confused. Thank you, Sharon. If you wouldn't mind penning something appropriate to ask for their further advice, subtly conveyed into what on earth was going on. Thank you. Let's have a look at let's confirm the minutes of the full council meeting, which was on Wednesday the 6th of December. Has everybody had a chance to look at them, and are you content with them? Are you happy to receive them? Confirm them as accurate.
I'll propose them.
You propose? Tom seconds. All those in favour? Thank you, that's unanimous.
Chair, can I just ask about minutes?
Yeah.
When we were discussing the audio the other day,
yep,
we talked about protocol, but I've noticed that the August audio has been deleted.
I've not deleted anything.
No, hasn't been. Shouldn't have been. Not Not as far as we know. It was up there. It was on.
Can we
It
put
was on
that
YouTube.
up?
Could you
I
check?
haven't deleted anything.
Have we ever deleted it?
Yeah, I don't know. It must be a system thing that has.
Have you looked under the August council meeting?
Yes. September's is on there, but not August.
Oh, it was
Well, I haven't deleted anything.
There. So we'll have a look at that.
Yeah, it
No, it
must be
hasn't been
technology.
deleted. No.
Yeah. I'll have a look, but I've certainly not deleted anything. Can you sign, please?
It's on there.
Is it? There you go.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, it shows
Thank
up
you,
on there,
Barry.
but when you try and click on it,
Could you click on it for us,
go
Barry,
into
and
it.
check that it plays?
This item was deleted.
Ooh.
Thank you.
By whom?
Well, certainly not by me, because I
Not
wouldn't
by
know
us.
how to do it.
No, we don't know. We don't know how to delete things. Thank you. No, nobody's done it deliberately.
No.
No one has deleted it.
Sorry.
We wouldn't, I doubt we'd have authority, I doubt we'd have...
We haven't got the authority. Once it's up there, we put it up. We put it up.
I think it might be a system thing because did you use Dropbox?
I did use Dropbox for that
Yeah,
on
I
that
think
first one.
Dropbox is probably maybe there's a time limit on it or something.
I hold my hands up. I really don't know. I just know I haven't deleted it.
Well, if it can be
We'll see. We'll see if we can put it back up
Yeah.
again. We'll try again. God, don't you love technology? Let's talk. Thank you, Christine. Let's talk about finance. We're going to authorise the accounts for payment on the 10th of October. As you know, we now pay items, or things are paid on the 10th of October on a monthly cycle.
Not yet.
Well, they will be.
That will be in October.
That will be at
unfortunately.
10th of October.
So I'm still talking about September's payments.
Okay.
Hopefully October's will be corrected. October's will be paid in October.
Yeah.
September's, yeah.
So the last three over the side.
I would like to propose that we authorise September's accounts for payment, the value of which is £10,814 and 26 pence. Do I have a seconder?
Have a seconder. Thank you, Godfrey. All those in favour? That's unanimous. Thank you.
The second item, I believe, is Sharon's. But,
This is to authorise extra signatories because we've discovered a glitch in the system.
Yeah, can I just say there are some for October on the reverse of that page. There are
Right,
three
okay,
that will
well,
go over into
we'll have to
October.
accept the fact that they'll recur in October. So
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
just
September's and a few things. Yes, it's on the other side.
Yes, if you want to.
Yes, could
Dave,
you
I'm
talk
happy for
to
that.
6B, please,
Right,
Dave?
before I start talking on that, so Sam, on the second page, there's the alarm company, Biffa, Laral and Transit Fire Service have got dates of October on them.
Yeah, and so is the bottom. Not necessarily. The
One
bottom
on the
one.
5th, yeah, Clean Space is happy.
So that would be just a mo.
Yeah, no problem.
Shall I just do the deduction?
Yeah, if you would. Yeah, you do.
Do you want?
Well, it is actually.
Do you want those?
£8,821 and 32 pence.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that September, Sam?
Yeah.
And then do we?
And then
Can we
October's
authorise
is-
these October ones as well?
Well, I think we'll be authorising that.
November.
Good point.
Yeah. Can we do through you, Chair? Could we do a separate one for? Do you want me to add those October ones up and give you the figure? I've got a calculator.
Well.
Sam will probably do it in his
Sam's
head.
quicker than I am.
No,
Sam's got it in his head.
1,900.
No, it's more than that, mate.
Right.
So these are the October payments that we've already got that we know we need authorising on the 10th.
Yeah, 1,900 and £92 and 94 pence.
Yeah, 1992-94. Sam, I'll take my hat off to you.
Yeah.
Well done, Sam.
Okay.
Welcome, Lindsay.
So, yeah.
So if you propose that.
First payment, I'd like to propose first payments for October, though not complete, of £1,992.94.
I'll second.
All those in favour? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I think with an LRLCPM in there.
So are you abstaining? Abstaining. So that's all bar 1. That's 10 and 1 abstention.
So may I talk about 7B then?
6B.
6B.
6B. I'll talk about 6B then, because it's more exciting. Right, 6B. So the item says to get 2 extra signatures. I just will briefly remind everyone on Lloyds Bank where we got to. So Lloyds Bank has a paper mandate and an electronic mandate, and they can be different. Okay. I do not understand why. It's a bit like why things get moved off and so on, but Sharon is absolutely on full powered on the mandate. Okay, the paper mandate. For some bizarre reason, it won't allow Sharon to set up changes to the mandate on the electronic one, right? But I can. So under Sharon's direction, I have to press the buttons. I don't understand why, but that's what it is. So I've managed, with the council's agreement, to set it up so that now all the payments, the electronic payments, have to go through Sam, me, and Sharon. All right. So Sharon sets them up, and then Sam and I have to sign on independently to the bank. And this sheet that you're looking at, we have to go on and authorise each one. Okay. But it's only Sharon, Sam, and me. And it seemed to me, so I spoke to Sharon and asked for this agenda item, that it would be prudent to have more than just the 3 of us, because you need 3 signatures, and at the moment that's exactly what you've got. So if I win the lottery and decide not to come to the council anymore, or Sam does, then we've got an issue. So I would like to suggest that we stick at a minimum of 2 more people on. And I think they ought to be people who are on finance and general purposes, would make sense to me. Now, Paul Lindsay's just arrived. You're on the paper mandate and not the electronic mandate. May I carry on?
Please carry on.
My remarks?
Grills Lindsay.
No, would you be prepared to allow us to add you to the electronic? Yes. So, and that's a great answer because that's easy to do. All right, so I can click the buttons for that. Then we need someone else. I don't know, Chris, do you want to do it? Or I
don't mind.
Yeah, it means you have to sign on to the bank and click the buttons.
Well, you'll show me which button to press.
Yeah.
But if he's fallen under a bus, will you be confident to do it on your own?
No.
Yeah. So it needs people who are confident to do it on their own. Are you on finance?
I'll do it. I'm not on finance.
On finance. Who's
So,
on? Somebody else on
so
finance.
Ron's
You're on finance.
How do you?
Yeah.
You're happy for it to be Ron and Lindsay then?
Yeah.
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 Right.
This is in the case of the 3 standard people not being
No,
available. Is it?
no,
Everybody's equal.
No, let me be. Yeah, everyone's equal. So what happened is, Sharon will still be the one setting up the payments. All right. So there's 2 things you do. Someone sets them up, and someone reviews them and authorises them. So Sharon will set up the payments because that's her job. She's the proper officer. She sets them up, and then it will be you will need 2 signatures from what will then be 4. So it doesn't matter which 2 get to it first. It will then authorise and go. All right. And so it will, for those who weren't quick enough, it'll simply disappear off your screen. All right, because it will go payment's been authorised and it's gone. All right. It doesn't send you an email or anything going, please have a look. You've actually got to have a look, and what happens so far is that Sharon kindly jogs our memory and goes, I've set some up, sign on. All right. So but the bank doesn't send you anything, so you have to sign on your banking. All right. And then it comes up saying there are payments requiring authorisation, and you have to click. It's real fun, isn't it, Sam? You have to click on each one individually.
You get your little card machine.
You get a little card machine.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's a terrible fun to do it.
Wonderful, isn't it? But there you go. All right.
Thanks for that helpful contribution.
I'll give Tom one way round it is once you've signed. If you use the same computer all the time, once you've signed on with your little card machine, you are allowed to use your memorable information. All right, so you don't have to use that little machine all the time. I found that out because I took the little machine on holiday to make payments and forgot the PIN number and locked it out. All right, so
hence the need to have extra people who can authorise things.
All right,
Less
so
people
I would
go on
like
holiday.
to, thank you for all that long explanation. I would like to propose that we arrange for Lindsay and Ron to be added to the paper and electronic mandates as per this item.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Chris.
All those in favour? That's unanimous. Well done, guys. Get more technology. Okay, let's receive the reports and consider any recommendations for full council from the various committees and working parties. Let's go through the chairs of those. Staffing. Ron, do you want to say anything, or are we just going to receive them?
No, it's probably an approach, Chair. Just I'll move that they be received. Members have received them.
Let's go. Can I have a seconder to receive those minutes? All those in favour? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. That's 9 in favour. Any abstentions? 1 abstention, please. Thank you. Did I miscount then? There should be 11 people. Oh, me. Yes. Just. Oh well.
So
easily forgotten.
10 for 1 abstention.
10 for 1 abstention. F and GP. Sam, would you like to?
Yes, indeed.
Proceed
Yes. Well, I'm sorry, but I've got some resolutions here, 5 of them, unfortunately, so I can't just pass it over.
No, it's fine.
In the FNGP meeting, we were discussing the maintenance budget, which is liable to cause us some problems, if not this year, within the next couple of years, because there's a lot needing to be spending. We did task the clerk with identifying the order of priority of the spending needed and what can be achieved this year and what needs to be done next year. Not too sure whether this should necessarily be a resolution, to be honest, now looking back at it, because it could be done within the FNGP meeting, can't it? So, sorry, I will, I don't think we need to propose that one. I don't think we need to propose the next one either, really, Sharon. The bit about you doing the budget. As relieved as I am, I think that's it.
I think because F&GP actually did propose and seconded it, I really think we ought to make that as a resolution to full council, if you don't mind, just to follow, follow it all the way through.
Follow it through to the end.
Okay.
Perhaps you can do them all together, can you? Would you prefer that?
Because I think the other ones probably.
It's up to you, Sam. You're the chairman. You do it however you would like.
I think we'll put them all through together as long as nobody raises any objections when they're finished. Yeah. So okay, the resolution was that where the precept was concerned, the clerk as RFO will set an initial budget for us and then bring it back to the next F&GP for review at the next meeting. That is a change in procedure from the past, whereby there's a rule, sort of, I'll put something together and then we've discussed it. This will be the other way around, if you really. The clerk will be setting the background for us.
And then it will be discussed. So she will set the initial, the draft version, then it will be discussed at F&GP. Yes. Okay.
Okay. Next resolution. And this is concerning the new rules and regulations on allotments and percentages, etc. That the rules and charges be accepted. Charges to be effective from the 1st of April 2024 and reviewed annually. Yeah. Okay, unless we've got an objection, then I'll carry on and do a block.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, so on the issue of the football club lease, the resolution was that ongoing negotiations take place regarding the possible concession in the value of the monthly or annual rent, but we will want a 5-year yearly review and market rates to apply. So yeah, the big difference being the 5-year review and the reference to the market rates, but it will make it clear now that we have always considered that some form of concession will be made. Quite the size of it will be dependent upon the football club's cooperation on the things we'd asked for, which they have been very good on.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So now on to cemetery maintenance. Following us as you close. Yeah. The issue of whether we pave or whether we plinth the cremation spots. Well, there's quite a lot of discussion over it, but the resolution is that the clerk obtains a further quotation and is authorised to proceed as she sees fit. So there we have 5 resolutions for you. I would like to propose that we receive the minutes of the FGMP and that we approve the 5 resolutions mentioned.
No, second that.
All those in favour?
No, before we
beforehand,
can I ask a question?
Yes, please do.
I apologise because I wasn't at that meeting, but on the budget setting, I completely support the idea that the clerk will put some things together in her role. What we have done previously that I personally found useful was when it was Sam putting the original figures down. I think before that, Sam, I think the last time a clerk did it would have been Neil, I think, from memory.
It probably was, yes. Yeah, I'm sure it was, yes.
We used to give a political steer as to the type of budget that we might support.
We did.
Oh, did you do that? I apologise.
Did steer around it a bit. Well, really, the general picture was that we've had ups, downs, ins, outs, and we had a very steady year last year, and we were thinking really along the lines that we were just trying to cover inflation this time round and to protect the maintenance budget.
I think there was a amount of discussion about how much money you actually do need to spend on things like the town hall to keep us dry because the roof needs fixing, so that also has to be taken into account. Christine, you have a question?
I have to disagree. It is the clerk's job to set up the precepts, and then it comes to the F and GP. Not anybody in particular, it comes to the committee.
Yeah, thank you, Christine. Yes.
Yeah.
Ron?
So my question is, let's say the community has raised a need or an issue during the year, and for whatever reason it hasn't popped up yet on the list. Are members of council going to be invited to put forward their propositions as well, which might well feed on something we picked up from the public gallery or elsewhere during the year?
Some of the comments we've had tonight.
How will that work? Will that be before the clerk drafts? I thought what Councillor Ian's going to say was there should be a proposition collection opportunity, which can be informed on email, can't it, to get into a draft consideration.
So can I?
Yes, Dave?
So I'll clarify what I was thinking. Was historically we've gone. So just giving these as examples. So historically we've gone. I can remember one year when we said straight after COVID we must build our reserves back up. So we deliberately budgeted to build the reserves up. Then I can remember other years when we've chosen as a council to say things are tough for the electorate, we want to have a flat budget, we don't want to be doing things. So I give those as examples because politically, although Sharon as the proper officer can set the budget, of course one of the deep joys of being a parish stroke town council is that we are uncapped on what we can raise. And it is right, in my opinion, as the elected representatives of the town, that we should decide politically what type of budget we want. And it goes to Ron's point. If Ron's got some feedback from the electorate that they want to see something in there, I think it's right and proper that that should be brought to Sharon and discussed at the committee. So I'm not looking for any one person to do it. I was saying as a collective, what are we looking for? Are we looking for you know, a steady as she goes with maintenance, which is, I think, what I'm hearing. And I just wanted us to have the opportunity, because in my time on the council, that's what we've done every other year. We've had a bit of an informal discussion.
Yes, yeah.
So my understanding is that as we
in committee.
No,
yes,
here.
Oh yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. Yes.
Yeah.
So my understanding is, from what we've got, is that Sharon will draw up the first draft of the budget, and will offer it to F&GP, who will then look at it and then bring it to council and say, what do you think? So that there can be, so that there can be moderations and changes based on where if we think there are things that need to be done. Is that my understanding?
With one addition, Chair,
yes,
that before she draws up the draft budget, she would circulate all members, particularly people not on the committee.
Yes.
To see if there are any thoughts, propositions that might be filtered out later on.
What are their priorities?
But everybody should have the opportunity to contribute to the budget.
So there may be somebody who says absolutely
just needs to be an email,
nobody must pay any more money, but we know. But then Sharon will say, yes, but the electricity bill has doubled in the last year for this building, therefore we can't just do steady as she goes and keep it the same. Right, thank you. That's what we will do then. Thanks, Ron. Right, anybody else on the subject, or shall we just take a? We had a proposer and a seconder. All those in favour of these resolutions? Thank you. That's unanimous. Planning, Barry.
Yes, you would have seen the minutes, and we've got 5 items on there, which have all been unanimously agreed by the committee. So I thought if I could just run through them, and if anybody had any comment, I could answer them, and perhaps we could do a similar thing and just run it up with one vote.
Yeah.
So the first item was to do with the 163 dwellings north of Leicester Road, which we're going to discuss as a separate item a little later.
Yeah.
The second item was a single-storey front extension with a new porch at 24 Stockeston Crescent.
Yep.
We resolved to approve that, but supporting the Highways holding objection about providing a crossover to a parking area that the people wanted.
Okay.
And 1 Aston Road, there was some work to a birch tree, which we thought was reasonable. And the car sales down at Glayston Road, they want to have an MOT station there. Highways had said that in view of getting the vehicles in and out, it's only a single access at the moment. They thought it should be an access for 2 vehicles to pass each other. Okay. And we thought that was reasonable as well.
Yeah.
So, don't know that anybody has any questions.
Any questions about planning?
In which case, I'd propose that we accept the minutes of the meeting and the resolutions therein.
Are you seconding? Thank you, Godfrey. All those in favour? Thank you, it's unanimous. Thank you. Update on the standing order.
No.
Oh, hang on.
Sorry, there's the 27th as well.
Oh, there's another one.
There's
yes,
the
6th and the 27th.
Meetings.
Oh, right, there's another one, Barry. You've got the minutes of the 27th as well as the 6th. You've got the 6th. I think it should be the 6th we should go back to.
Was that issue with these?
I still think there's an issue with all the emails, and Cynthia's got everybody with the Gmail. I've got one here, Barry. Do you want to give that to Barry? I can just run through it.
Certainly, I've only got one.
This is the one that Cynthia sent out.
We've had a lot of trouble with our email. There seem to be many of our accounts. The people, the system seems to think that Sharon is just spamming us all. So we're having to search through to find emails. And it's proving quite complicated. Does that make sense, Barry? Is that one you've seen before?
This is the one you did before.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
This is the 6th. Yeah. This is the one before.
Yeah.
It didn't come out this.
It came out. Cynthia sent them to me.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, for this one then, we've got 5 resolutions there, which were all unanimously approved again. So if I can run through those.
Just do a quick dash through those.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Single-storey extension to 14 Southwell Way. Some apple tree pollarding at 28 Stockeston Road. Some work to a walnut tree on 2 London Road. replacement 4 windows to the front elevation of 14 Queen Street, and 163 dwellings north of Leicester Road.
Which we're coming to in a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, if I can propose
There's a seconder for that set of minutes. Thank you, Godfrey. All those in favour? Thank you very much. It's unanimous.
Harry, if I can ask you to sign as Vice Chair because you've delivered them, so Cynthia's just bringing the other one round to you.
Thanks, Brian. Thank you. Okay. Update on the Standing Orders Working Party. Godfrey.
Well, we hope that we'll be able to bring this to November's meeting.
Oh, jolly good.
Sharon's been working on getting an acceptable draft that we'll send to everybody. If we do make it to November, then as Chair, you might need to think about allocating a reasonable amount of time, because there are one or two contentious issues that I'll probably want to discuss quite fully.
Can do that? Yep. We'll make a note of that. We'll try and keep the agenda to lesser rather than more, so that you can have a decent amount of time on that one. Yeah. Thank you. Well, thank you for the warning. Anything else? You just that's it. Is that so? We're just receiving the that's the update. That's it. Thank you. Right. Email correspondence received 26th of September from the football club. Sharon, who's got that correspondence?
You've all had it.
You've all had it.
You've all had it by email.
Correspondence?
Right. Well, it's an email that we've received from the football club, and it's basically, well, I'll read it.
It's entitled. If you've got it, it's entitled Kerry Nimmon's email. If that's your document title.
It's easier for me to just read it. With regard to the lease between the Town Council and the Football Club for the site of the clubhouse at Todd's Piece, which is due to expiring December 2025, preliminary meetings have been held with Councillors David Ainsley and Sam Finley, which Council authorised them so to do. They couldn't make any decisions, they were just purely there to facilitate discussions. So, further to these meetings and acknowledging how long such matters can take to reach agreement, he's emailing to request consideration being given to the extension renewal of the current lease. So, the club proposed that the new lease be for a term of 25 years and include the hire of Todd's Piece for the football pitch. At the moment, his words, not mine, I'm reading, there is no written formal agreement for the use of the land for the pitch, which is why a request for inclusion is being made. An agreement for use of the pitch and the length of this is particularly relevant as a formal agreement, and minimum remaining term is often required before any grant-making bodies will consider application. That is very true. They need to know exactly. I thank the Council in anticipation for sympathetic consideration of this request and ask that it be included on the agenda for discussion at the next full Council meeting, which is why you have it here now.
Okay. Various people, some people, Dave, you were involved with the discussion in the meeting. Who else? And you, as the financial whizzes. What would you like to say about this particular email?
My feeling, Sam, is that if I've misunderstood it, tell me. But my understanding is what they're saying is we know that our current arrangements don't run out for a few more years, okay? But we would like to tie the thing up for some certainty. Please, can we crack on with it? And what I would like to propose is that Sam and I be authorised to carry on with them to work this up into a proper proposal that we can then bring back to full council. But just to warn you that they are looking, if we reach an agreement between council and football club, they're looking to put it in place sooner, and so we'll have to cancel the existing arrangements and put this one in place. Yeah. So my proposal would be let me and Sam, working with Sharon, go and talk to them, come back with the proposals. Sam and I won't be able to make any decisions. The full council will make all the decisions, but we'll do the donkey work.
Yeah.
You happy with that, Sam?
Are we happy with any questions?
So how does everyone else feel?
Yeah. Before we just take the vote, is there any other thoughts or comments about the football club?
I don't think we have any objections to what they're saying in terms of pledging you know, excellent reviews on the lease for the pitch.
Yeah.
In fact, that sounds probably mutually satisfactory.
And they do want to bring more money in, and they need grants to do that, and they can't do that
Exactly,
without.
And as Sam alluded to earlier, and I think we can say it's an open session. They've been very open-minded, and they're working. You know, Sherman Fenimore came last time and told us about the kids' football, so they are moving forward with a youth team, a children's team. They are keen to do a girls, I'll say girls are on a ladies' girls team. Sherman tells me that they'll probably, because of the age group they're doing for the youngsters, they'll be able to put the girls and the boys together at that age. And that's probably a more sensible, rather than insist they must have a girls team, must have a kids team. It's better to get them started.
They do mixed.
And they're allowed to do mixed at that age. That seems sensible to me.
Yep. Okay. So are we? So we have a proposal that you and Sam.
On a point of information, just before we take the vote. So, have the amenities committee considered yet their aspirations? Bear in mind the club is on effectively Todd's piece, which is the amenity committee's area.
Yep.
So this is essentially about the financial deal. I understand that.
Correct.
Yep. And if so, are they going to be given the opportunity to
that's a very
possibly
good point,
agree?
Because we've only discussed it as a financial episode. Yeah. Obviously, Mike's chair of amenities. So
when there's a proposition, then perhaps that could be sequenced so that those folk not involved get the chance to express a view about from an amenity point of view.
Because there's other things that need to, that we'd like amenities to discuss as well. So perhaps we could have a meeting that could go to amenities for discussion around the table at that point.
So can I just say, I mean, Sam and I think I'm speaking, Sam, you have to speak for yourself. I think our view was that we're finance and general purposes. So our view was we're negotiating a contract to bring to the full council. Now, I personally have no problem if that's to the full council via amenities or to the full council directly. But every councillor we get a chance to say, and that would be the appropriate time to say, well, maybe they would like to see a different use. You know, but I saw our route in being to bring you something tangible to say yes or no to.
The reason I raise it is because when we surveyed the town some years ago, there was a view about making it a park and so on. There were more than one view. So I think it's important that at least that is ultimately the decisions arrived at with all of those factors involved.
And I think it's interesting to see how the attitude of the football club has changed over the last year or so, when they've realised that actually people might want to turn it into a very different thing. And suddenly we've now got a pitch marked out for kids and general more joined up thinking perhaps. Perhaps that could therefore be something that, you know, you're going to continue to work it up, and then amenities can definitely have a look at it and see whether that fits in with the global attitude of what we might want to do with Todd's piece, and whether that fits in with whether it's an amenity for everybody, because it has to be, the place needs to be an amenity for the whole town. Okay, the proposal, we had a seconder. Those in favour of authorising the two guys to do that? Thank you very much. And I hope you'll be able to do that sort of sooner rather than later, gentlemen. That would be good, I think. Consider the adoption of the Uppingham Town Council co-option policy. This has come to us. Does anybody have any comments on the co-option policy as presented? It's just a policy that we can look at again on an annual basis if you wish to. Anybody got any thoughts?
I've forgotten. Where does this come from? Does this come from El Ratos?
No, I've put it together from best practice. I've looked at several councils to see how they deal with it, and you tasked me, I can't tell you the exact meeting, with putting a co-option policy together. It was probably, in fairness, at the main meeting when we had new councillors come on, but I couldn't tell you that off the top of my head.
It was a few months back, wasn't it?
It was a few months back, and it's sort of been sitting in the background because I've been busy doing other stuff, but before I you know, before it gets even more in the background, I thought I'd better bring it forward.
And is this a policy which you think could be revised every couple of years or so, just to have a look at it, make sure it's still fit for purpose?
I would look at it every year. I'd just add it to the list of
policies to be reviewed.
Policies to be looked at.
Has anybody had a look and got any problems with it for this next 12-month session?
I'll make the point in public that I made privately to the clerk, that we're no longer in the EU, so why are we discriminating in favour of the EU and against Africa and everywhere else in the world? We should have moved on from that. It might be to do with the law, that the law hasn't moved on, I suspect, but we should just check it out to make sure there's purpose.
I'll double check that.
Thank you.
You shouldn't have to be a citizen of the Commonwealth alone.
Oh, is that what the law says, Sharon? Citizen of the Commonwealth?
I've picked it out from various different pieces in the famous yellow law book, but I will just recheck that.
And we do have global representation. Godfrey.
One of the proposals that might come up, will come up when we report back on standing orders, is whether we separate out standing orders from constitution or scheme of delegation, code of conduct, all the rest of it. I mean, what we could do is we could have a kind of suite of policies that sit within the framework of standing orders and other things that we could produce in one booklet for the entirety of it. Just a suggestion.
So you're saying this is what, in addition, this is one of the documents that sits alongside code of conduct, standing orders, delegation.
Policy,
it's a one. Yes, rather than having one long document, it's several that all sit together as a unit.
But in one
thing,
suite. Shall we call it?
I wouldn't want it in one document per se, because I think you've got to...
It's a suite of documents.
As long as it's a suite of documents, and that's how it is on the website. Yeah, that's how it is on the website at the moment, current policies, and they're all in there, so you don't have to... Because I heard what you were all saying in May, that you had to...
Couldn't find it.
You had to put certain words in and hope that it put forward the document you wanted. So I have put a new document, a new suite, I suppose, on the front of the website where it says current policies, and you can just go straight in there, and that is the current policy at this time. Yeah. The thing is, the clerk has to remember to update that, of course, every time it changes. But,
I think your list of things to update and act upon on a daily basis gets longer.
It does.
So can I say, I don't think Godfrey was suggesting one giant.
No, as you say, this one suite of documents.
Yeah, which it is.
So they all have a sort of similar identity, but they're all
separate. So in the spirit of moving this along then, I would like to propose we accept the Uppingham Town Council co-option policy.
And I have a seconder for that. Tom, all those in favour? Thank you, that's unanimous.
Thank you.
Excellent. Clerk's report and recommendations held within. Sharon, is there anything you wish to highlight? Has everybody had a chance to read the clerk's report? And who's got any questions that they would like to?
I certainly don't intend to go through this whole document unless somebody's got something that I haven't explained very well. All that's really happened since I wrote... Well, no, that's not quite true. What has happened since I wrote this is I've now received all the legal documents here for Setford's, for the Blaw's land, so that's all in, so that's a job I've got to do. I've also received in a compulsory review of polling districts that Rutland do every now and again, so that's been done. In a nutshell, there's a lot of papers, but basically it's saying, is your polling station fit for purpose? Have you changed anything? Is there anything extra that you've put in? Blah, blah, blah. So I've done that. And surprisingly, and this took me a bit by surprise, you remember we were talking about phase 3 electricity for the town hall, because we work on a normal supply at the moment. I obviously chased that, and that has come in, and there's a 6-week lead on that, so that took me completely by surprise. 6-week lead on that. So I'm just reading through again. They tell me they've not changed anything, but maybe I'm a bit cynical and I will read it before I sign it. And that's basically what's happened since I wrote you the clerk's report. I've had a meeting today, just to update you, with the Talking Therapies bus. I did mention it in this, and it's for people that need a little bit of help, mental help. The problem with this has been that Rutland County Council did not want to site it anywhere, so it has to be on council land, and as you know, council don't have that much land. So I have agreed this first time that they can site it on Todd's Piece, right on the corner, because we have had the circus on there. I know it's not ideal and I'm not happy about it, but I haven't got an option really, because it's the only land that we own. I did suggest to Rutland County Council that they sited it in Mercer's Yard, which is, to me, the obvious place. They want to do it on a market day, so they get the footfall. But Rutland won't do that because they won't close off their parking bays and lose the income, which I think is incredibly short-sighted. And I'm not going to make bones about that, I just think it's really short-sighted. But I've had a meeting today, that is my backstop, that it will go on Todd's Piece, right on the corner. So if you think where Gainsborough Road and the grit bin is, there is a little patch of grass there where it wouldn't damage the football pitch, and yes, we might get a chewed up piece of grass, but I genuinely can't think of any other way to get this bus into Uppingham. I've had exactly the same problems with the ambulance. I told you the NH ambulance is coming.
The COVID ambulance.
The COVID ambulance that will be doing free COVID and flu jabs. We couldn't site it anywhere, so I'm siting it on the corner outside Norton's. We've got it on 3 market days now, which are, she says, 6th, 20th and the 10th, I think. Yeah. We've also got, she emailed me yesterday, which is why you don't know about this yet, to say, could they bring 2 ambulances? Because, as you all know, COVID is quite rife at the moment. So I said yes, but then of course I got the same problem of not being able to site them. So again, I'm citing one in the marketplace on a market day, the other I'm going to cite on Todd's Piece, because for me, if you stood in the market, somebody can direct you to Todd's Piece and try and manage the queues. So I've just had to make quick decisions on that, I'm afraid. 2
questions, Tom, Ron and then Tom.
So, if I heard correctly, the County Council wasn't willing to allow a Talking Therapies bus for Uppingham folks, horizontally, to be on highways?
Nope.
Well, I'm quite happy for the moment for it to go on Todd's Piece, but I think we should react to that. It alarms me a little bit. A recent conversation with Citizens Advice Bureau says that our marketplace is not now populated by ordinary folk, only folk who can afford to shop in Uppingham, and therefore they're moving facilities elsewhere. And I do think there's a conversation to be had about, what are the good places then for these vehicles, which are normally public service type operations. Can we not get agreed with the County Council and others, perhaps some landowners, some places? Because I think that's absolutely ridiculous. But I cannot believe the Highways Authority couldn't find a means to site that bus.
They wouldn't site it in Mercer's Yard because of the actual taking up of the income and loss of revenue. They wouldn't cite it because it's been going on for weeks. I went back to them and said X, Y, Z, and I suggested various places around Uppingham. They were private places, but I said maybe there's a conversation to be had there, but they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't cite it on the highways because of the width of the pathways for people getting on and off the bus, which I thought was absolutely ridiculous. How do you get on and off a bus to go to Leicester?
When the Road Safety Partnership chooses to come to Uppingham with a bloody big wagon, they're parking all sorts of places.
Yeah.
I know, it's ludicrous. Honestly, you would not believe it.
It's almost as though they've had a lot of time to think about it. Tom, you wanted to say something.
Mine was only a practical question. I was asked by someone in the town today what the operational hours of this ambulance is.
10 till 4.
And they were planning on getting up there at 8:30, and I said, oh, I'm not sure.
I've managed to actually, now we've found out what it is, because I didn't want to, I've put it on next door that it's 10 till 4, but just keep passing the word around. I suspect there's going to be a bit of a queue.
Which is why she wants to bring the other one, and the only other place I've got is
next to the
area on
one.
Todd's piece.
I don't think I have a loving surgery that has much to do going forward either in that direction.
I think they've invited certain relevant people, but the idea is that you could just turn up and have your jab.
That was one of the places I suggested.
And is it for all age groups?
Absolutely anybody, even if you're an outsider like me, you can go up and get your jab.
It's a great initiative. It's a shame that it's causing so much strife just about where you can put these things, because they're all great ideas, but.
Well, we've done it. Somehow we've done it. It's coming.
Well, let's see what happens. Okay, thank you, Sharon. Any more questions about Sharon's report? Okay, thank you very much, Sharon. Now we're just going to receive the updated rules and regulations and hire charges, remembering hire charges come in April, not now, for the allotment, the Town Hall and Cemetery. Let's look at the allotments first. Have people had an opportunity to look at this?
Yes.
Do I have any comments, questions? Barry?
On the F&GP, it said £17.50 for half a block, I thought. And it says 15 in here.
Does it? It is £17.50. I think what I probably did then, I'd suggested 15, and then when it got to F&GP, it was put up. So that's my error. I haven't changed that.
Thank you very much for that. Okay. So are we okay to receive the allotment, the updated regulations for the allotment? Any other questions?
Just one observation. If this, I mean, effectively this is going to be a standing document like a policy.
Yep.
The inspection working party was chair and vice chair of the maintenance committee, but I was there, so we agreed that.
Yep.
But it's surely unwise to put the names in because they may change year by year.
Yes, I think
so
it should have
we should
titles.
put the roles in.
Yeah. Could you do that, please, Sharon?
Yeah, I'll alter that. Yeah.
Put the roles in.
Yeah, good point.
And as we've said, these are all documents that reviews. It's going to be an annual review of charges and everything from going forwards. Right. So, is the proposer to receive those? Seconder? No. Yeah. So, all those in favour? That's unanimous. Thank you. How about the Town Hall then? The rules, the member of the public has mentioned some of the issues that they have with them. You've got a copy of them. Anybody in council got anything they would like to say about the Town Hall agreements?
I would, please, Liz.
Yes, please go ahead, Doug.
I just think it's important to point out, I mean, Sue, member of the public, did raise these points. I think a really good point that was raised was, I think it's important that we point out we are spending quite a lot of money upgrading the kitchen.
Yeah.
Because it's absolutely right to say the kitchen today is not fit for purpose, and I would agree with that comment. So I think it's really important that we say the charges are being discussed as for next year, by which time it is our expectation, is it not, that this kitchen will be fitted and operational. So
yep.
That was one of the reasons for the time.
Absolutely.
Yes, that was one of the reasons.
I know we know that, Sam. I was just thinking it's worth getting this on the record for the wider audience, really, isn't it? Because I think it's a well-made point. You know, we are improving the facilities, and that's part of the justification of the extra cost.
Okay, so are we okay to receive the updated rules? Sorry, Barry?
Well, a similar thing on this one. For half an hour it's £12 on here, but the F&GP, I think, proposed £12.50.
I don't remember that. You're probably right.
What did I put in the F&GP? It's been a lot of minutes, just like that.
This is one reason why we're going to be doing these on a yearly but annual basis rather than once every 5 years or 10 years or whatever it's become.
Can't find the minutes. I've just had them, so...
Are you saying the council chamber is £12.50, or are you saying that the hall should be £12.50
here we go.
for half an hour?
Here we go, here we go. Here we go. £12.50, yes. Yeah, I'll change that then. Is everybody happy if I change that up to £12.50 for the council chamber? I think again it was one that was put up in the meeting, and I haven't tweaked it on there.
All those in favour of receiving these updated rules and regulations for the present time? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And the cemetery rules and regulations. Anybody got any thoughts about the cemetery, having noted Tom's dispensation?
If I can just say for members, the reason you haven't got fees in there is because I've been quite busy trying to get fees for everything. What I will tell you is I have done some preliminary, which I can't say, research. We charge something like, I'm sure Tom will know this far better than I probably will, we charge something like £83 for a plot. It's either 83 or 85, something like. Yeah.
It's ridiculously small.
Yeah. I did look at Oakham's and it's something like £1,000. So you can see this. I'm not suggesting for a second we should go from 83 to 1,000 because that's just ludicrous.
It works at about 200 and some odd pounds for a burial plot. Ash's plot is 83 or 85. Ash's in Oakham's about £400, but burial in Oakham, when the as bad as I charge is about £3,000.
Yeah. So it is vastly different. No, I don't either.
It's a huge
no.
difference.
I'm just saying I'd looked at that as a preliminary thing just to give you some idea, and I thought, whoa.
It's huge.
Yeah, so I will look at that. So really what I'm asking you to do is just look at the rules for now, and I will do some more research and bring it back to you. But I certainly wouldn't be my advice to you to go from here to up here. You know, you've got to be reasonable. But they are ridiculous.
It made me did it because they increased them like 700% or something.
Yeah.
And what happened was a lot of the Oakham residents bought plots. They had an influx of people reserving plots at the cheap rate. And of course people now caught out and they can't believe if they haven't got a plot they're paying £3,000 for not even touched anything.
Yeah.
It is massive.
Yeah.
Okay. So, however, if anybody thinks they might need it soon, get your plot purchased here quickly.
So that's why you're not looking at fees. That's why you've got the blank fees, because I've just not pinned that one down yet. But it's work in progress.
So that's a work in progress. So do you want us to receive the
I
rest
want
of
you
it?
to receive the cemetery rules because they were outdated as well. But yeah, the fees is a different kettle of fish.
Just one comment
of course.
I guess it will be at your discretion as clerk, but it says interments carried out between 9:30 and 4, Monday to Friday. For most funerals, that's fine. Interments of ashes do tend to take place on Saturdays. They're very common on Saturday. Does that apply there, or?
I'm happy to look at that if that's something that Uppingham does.
Yeah.
I'm not going to change it.
Are quite common weekends.
I've never experienced it at a cemetery I've worked at, but if it's something that works here, it's working, I'm not going to change it.
Make say yes, that's fine.
Well, that's fine. I mean, you'll be the people that are in there. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Do you want me to tweak that? Would that make you feel happier?
Let's write it in, please, Sharon, so that we don't have any upset in the future. If that's part of the agreement, that you can do interments at the weekend.
I mean, most people won't. We always have said yes because we appreciate that, you know, it's such a small, informal thing that people can't really take time out of work for.
I'm happy to change that. I'm happy to change that.
But that was the only thing that occurred to me that...
Fine.
So would you be happy for me to just say ashes? We don't do burials.
On Saturdays?
Yeah, it's very rare we have a weekend burial, and if we did, we'd come to you and explain the circumstances.
Absolutely, happy with that. I'll just write it in for ashes then.
Splendid. Okay, so could I have a proposal for the rules and regulations, but not without the costs? Does anyone want to propose that we accept those? Barry?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Dave. All those in favour? Right, thank you.
I abstain?
Yeah, abstain, yeah.
One abstention.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for your help with that, Tom. That's useful.
Now then, here we go. The land on... This is the land on Leicester Road, isn't it?
It is.
Yes. Okay, item 11. This is a planning item. Barry, would you like to talk to this?
Yeah, I can do, yeah. 163 dwellings north of Leicester Road, which, as you know, has been knocking around now for some time.
Yeah.
I prepared a paper which I sent round to councillors, so I hope that assisted people's memory in the first place and updated them as to where we were at the minute. As you know, we've got a design review on
Monday. 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. And some of us will be there for that review. But basically, I think if you've read what we've said, we should repeat our objections that we've put in for the original planning permission, because those are still pertinent issues, I feel. And also, we should object, I think, to the way that they've put in the affordable houses, which they're proposing to have 2 clusters, which is against recommendations. There has been comment from RCC on that, and they also think that the clusters are too large, there ought to be more. They're talking about reducing them to 15.
Yeah.
In our view, on the committee, we thought that really they ought to be in smaller clusters, and we thought 8 was possibly a reasonable number to spread around the site.
That's 8 affordable houses together in a group, as opposed to 20 odd.
Yeah, 20 and 29. Yes.
Yeah.
So more of a distribution through the site. We also were not happy with the LEAP, the local equipped area for play, which is generally reckoned to be for children who are beginning to go out and play, whereas for a site of that size, they ought to be catering for all ages up to about 14.
Yeah.
We think that maybe the area that they're allocating could be large enough, but we don't know how they're going to deal with the burial area, whether that is going to be part of the play area or not. We didn't really like the fact that they'd put it up one corner, but I think it's a consequence of them wanting to shoehorn 163 dwellings onto the site.
Yeah.
I think that it's too many properties for the site, I think.
And particularly because we've asked them to be in groups with a green area, so they're groups of houses, not just what look like terraced streets like you'd find in the middle of any city.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'd like to propose that Sharon writes to RCC and objects on these bases to that application, and then we'll discuss it at the design review.
Yeah. Okay. Dave, then Godfrey. Oh, Godfrey, were you first? I'm sorry.
Dave. I don't mind.
Dave,
right, okay. So all I was going to say, right, first of all, I did find your paper really helpful, Barry, personally, and thank you for that. All that's in my mind is, and Sharon, I believe that the cut-off date for responding on this has been extended, has it not, by 1 whole day until tomorrow by RCC. Now, ladies and gentlemen, all that's in my mind is I'm delighted we've got this design review called and agreed, and it's on Monday. Now, I completely agree with the objections, but it seemed to me that on an equitable basis, it kind of feels wrong to be saying, we object to it, but we're still coming to the design review. Should we not be going to the design review with an open mind and not predetermining our position? Now, I understand that we've got to respond to RCC by tomorrow, so our hands are somewhat tied. So I'm kind of minded, if others feel the same, to suggest to Barry that we go for his proposition, but with some sort of caveat saying we would have preferred to have had a date after the design review, so that we could raise this issue in a working environment rather than just writing back to you saying we object to it. I hope I put that across properly, but that it kind of feels to me, if we're going into a design review, which should be so that they will hopefully listen to what we have to say and we will listen to their explanations, it ought to be more open than just going, we object.
I think it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because we all look at the one and say, we object to this, and no, any design review that does anything other than change it is going to be very difficult for us. Godfrey, you...
Well, two things. Barry made a very good point by email earlier today or yesterday. asking precisely what happens at a design review, because Barry has never been to one, I've never been to one. And the second thing is that the email inviting people to the design review only went to the planning committee people. I think this is more broader than that, and even if so I think we should invite all members, because I'm sure they'll contribute more and give more force. But as I understand it, Sharon's response was that Ron has been to a design review meeting previously and is aware of what one is. I wonder if Ron, you could tell us what the process is.
Yeah, what happens, Ron?
Sorry if I make 2 points, I'll answer that in a second. Yes. I mean, my understanding is we're going to invite MPAG, and therefore it would be nonsense not to invite all members who are interested in being there. So that would be my view. On Dave's proposition, I would also like to include that we'd like the County Council to be present at the design review. We all assume it is, but it is a good point, that they shouldn't be making their mind up until the design review's happened. And there's a danger, the way things work, that it is. So we could wrap that into the proposition. What happened last time was we were quite impressed. It was David Casewell, Dick Reeves and myself were the three that council sent.
And what were you looking at?
The idea is that the proposition is interrogated not by us initially, but by the professionals who it was open, wasn't last time, who undertook it. So it was peer on peer, planner challenging planner, on the principles and issues that we raised as a council. And then there was obviously response from the developers, but then individual members and people attending could also follow up and raise additional questions. So it was quite a good process, we thought. And they then pulled together a series of thoughts. They went away and then the council got a formal draft of what the critique was, if you like, which then goes to County Council. And my slight concern is the way the County Council development control things work is it's happened before where they can make a decision ridiculously before all the facts are in front of them, as it were, which is why I think we should close the loop, adding to Dave's thing. But that was the process, and I think we thought it was quite good. We're quite impressed by Open, and it's the fact that professional planners were challenging some of the issues. You know, it says this in the neighbourhood plan, why aren't you? It was a bit more difficult for them to dismiss the debate than say a lay member. I mean,
I fully understand. I might, in my cynical nature, I'm thinking they've made their mind up already, regardless of anything we may do or say. So that's why I would like as much support as we can have the design review. I'm glad NPAG are invited. Is there any reason why all council members can't be invited?
I think we should.
All council members can be invited. Yeah. 1 o'clock on Monday, everybody can come to. Are we meeting up here? Is this where it is?
It's in the chamber. Yeah. So I'll send an email out tomorrow to the council members that aren't here, but some of them won't be able to do it. For example, Mark's on a 2-week holiday that I know, so's Trevor, and I believe Pete is. Yeah. So, but yes, I'll send it out to full council and then it's out there.
I think it shows that our commitment to trying to their hardest to get what we think is acceptable building within Uppingham. It makes such a difference to between something which looks more like the Elms and something which looks like this diagram that we've got for
I think the other critical thing that came on quite well last time was it wasn't just a matter of opinion. The fact that the council has agreed a draft neighbourhood plan. Yes. What they were saying was, look, you're not reading this plan, which is exactly what council members have been saying to the professionals who've been coming to our meetings. So hopefully it strongly reinforces the message.
So I've had 3 emails back from MPAG, and 3 members are going to come of MPAG. I will tell you that the design consultant has also invited Clive Keeble to come down.
Good. That's good.
But Clive has declined the invitation, and his reasoning behind that was that he may be retained on the Uppingham neighbourhood plan going forwards, and he didn't want to put his views. And I think we have to. I think we have to accept that as his professional view. But he did to be fair, that the design review team didn't tell me, but Clive did. So that's how I found out. So people are coming, but yes, I will put it out to the rest of council tomorrow.
can I ask through you to Sharon, who are on the design team then?
It's a lady. Somebody asked me this today. It's a lady called Mr. Patel, and she's from Design Review Midlands. Have I got that? Not got it in front of me.
Is it an organisation that just does these design reviews?
Yeah,
they're the official critical bodies for things like this.
Right.
I'll send you the link.
I don't want to know the names. I just want to know,
who they were.
I believe they do quite a few around.
Right.
So.
And so, are they a statutory body, or are they
No, they're not statutory, are
they?
they?
They won't be statutory, but I wouldn't like to put, without looking into it, I wouldn't like to say in this meeting what they are. I just know they're a design company that do this, that look at this, and they've been asked to do that by Rutland, so they wouldn't be somebody walking. They won't be somebody walking the street, is what I'm trying to say. It will be
the nearest model chair is a peer review, so in professional service you recognise a peer review where professionals talk to each other equally, but we get the chance to chip in as well.
Okay. And are we in the position to say to RCC, can we delay this tomorrow date till Tuesday or Wednesday? I think we should make the point.
What I will do tomorrow, because I've sent various emails to this guy trying to get this sorted, so tomorrow I will put council's views that we would like some more time to consider it and go to that design review with an unfettered open mind.
We're going to be unfettered.
And confirmation that the county council will be present.
I'll ask.
Can ask.
Yeah.
Can I just have a who thinks they will be able to come on Monday? You haven't heard about it, but Godfrey, you can. Anybody else can come on Monday to the design review? Okay.
So Barry is coming, Ron is coming, Godfrey's coming, you're coming.
Queue up on
Well,
Friday.
if we end up with half a dozen, that'll be twice what we had last time.
Well, that's good. I think I think strength of numbers says it really matters to us. Frankly, we want to stay.
Do you want me to tell you who's coming from MPAG? It's an open meeting. I've no problem.
Yeah, who's coming
so
from
MPAG? Dave Casewell has replied to me today, and he said he would have loved to be there, but he can't. It's very close, isn't it? It's not giving people much time.
Is there somebody from the Elms? That's a critical thing.
I've spoken to Andrew. I
can
never say his second name.
Yes.
I've spoken to him. He's going to try and come, and also Nick Thompson is coming from MPAG.
Nick Townsend.
Townsend.
If Nick's going. No.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think that sounds like a good group that will represent our concerns.
I'm also speaking to Howard Thompson, but he's not quite sure whether he can make. What people are tending to say is how long will it be, and I can't answer that question. It's very difficult for me to answer that.
So can we go back? So Barry said we should, and I've made my caveat. How about if we say, based on the written plans we have, we don't see any reason to change our view, and we object. However, we recognise that there is a design review scheduled for Monday, and therefore we ask RCC to give us an extension so that we can reconsider our position in light of the findings of that review, something like that, and urge them not to make any decisions until the review's
preemptive decision.
But inserting that, dear, which we expect the county council also to attend.
Something like that. I'm sorry to get the great long thing, but I think it's really important.
I agree.
Yeah, I'll try and do that tomorrow, and I'll just send an email out, let you know as soon as I know, if that makes sense.
So do we need to vote?
Do we need to vote on that?
Yeah.
Okay. All those.
Barry, you're proposing, are you?
Yes.
You're proposing.
I'll second
that.
That great long.
That what you just said. Thank you very much. All those in favour? That's unanimous. Thank you, guys. Okay. So look forward to seeing if those that can make it on Monday. Correspondence. You've got a list of various things that have come in the Monday round robins, monthly training bulletins. Of course, we're doing some training next week and 2 weeks after that. Articles of association have also come in. Confirmation of RCC approving Regulation 16 consultation dates to the public. Those are now in, aren't they, Sharon? Can you remind us what those dates are?
I can. It is started on the Friday the 22nd of September, and it will end at 5 p.m. on Friday the 3rd of November.
during which time anybody can make any comments, including us. Feel free.
Can I ask what time the training is taking place on Wednesday the 11th and Wednesday the 25th?
On Wednesday the 11th it is 6:30 to 8:30, and on Friday on the 25th it's 6 till 9.
Thank you.
Oh, I hope we get a coffee break in the middle of that.
Depends if you're good.
If sandwiches possible. Formal notice. Oh, that's not just read. Yeah. We've discussed the NHS bus COVID questions. Right. One more item, ladies and gentlemen. I have to read the long paragraph just to warn you. I'm going to ask the members of the public to leave because we're going to be discussing some confidential business here. In view of the confidential nature of the following agenda item, press and public be excluded from the meeting in accordance with the Public Bodies Admission to Meetings Act 1960, Section 1, which is to consider proposal by Uppingham Town Council and counter proposal by Uppingham Bowls Club. Thank you all very much for coming.
You have to vote.
Oh, can I have a proposal?
You propose it.
I propose this.
I second it.
All those in favour of discussing this item in private, thank you. That's unanimous. Is that unanimous? Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much, people.
Do I need to leave?